Well, hello there, welcome back to the channel. It's a busy day for me today, but I have noticed recently is that we've had a lot on the news and a lot on the internet about vaping deaths. Now, if we have a look at what's being said, is that over in America there's under 20 people that's actually died from vaping. So this has kind of led to America saying, you know, we have to ban vaping. Looks like that they actually have banned it over in various states. And looking at the news that we're having over here, is that in the UK we're being told is that vaping is safe, or we think it's safe, but there's still much more research to be done. There's no intentions to ban it at the moment. Here's the thing, there's been a lot of research done in the UK, and in effect it has been legalised and it's taxed, and all of that was done because the government was losing too much money in tax. Now, they're probably getting quite a lot from vaping, so they don't want it to be banned over here in the UK. However, in America, you know, whatever they've done, and they're still losing millions and millions of dollars each year in tax. So they are now looking for any excuse at all to ban vaping, and this under 20 deaths has given that excuse. Now, once again in the UK, we do have deaths from people that potentially used to smoke and now doing vaping, and you may say that people who's died from pneumonia. That could be connected to vaping. We do not know. My own mum used to be an heavy smoker well before vaping came out, and when she died she got a diagnosis of throat cancer and liver cancer. It was not put down to smoking. So in the UK we don't know, we'll never know. The only thing what we're doing is, if you're going to die from pneumonia, you probably will anyway, regardless of vaping or not. If you're smoking, that's going to restrict the lungs, which means you're just going to die sooner. And that's a reality fact. Now, let's have a quick look at the news reports from the UK covering this.
Now, since it was invented, vaping has been considered relatively safe in the UK. At any rate, most doctors say it's much safer than smoking. Not so in the US at the moment, where the number of lung injuries blamed on vaping has risen to over 1,000. 19 people have died, with post-mortem examinations finding evidence of chemical burns on their lungs. Their cause isn't clear, but investigators say most of the victims report using what is essentially dodgy vape liquid containing THC, the chemical that gives marijuana its high. THC is tightly regulated in the UK, and there's been no similar spike in illness here.
So at this point, going back to America, and the question is, why did these people die? And it's only a very small number. And to put it in perspective, if you look at how many people actually die only in America, that's 480,000 people a year on average, which equates to 1,315 people a day. Show me one state which has now just banned tobacco. There isn't any. None of them will do it.
3 US states have now banned e-cigarettes. India has also outlawed them, along with Thailand, Singapore and Brazil.
So then it comes back to, well, is vaping dangerous in America? Well, as we go in the UK, the shops in America, the shops will control it. Even if the government's not controlling it, the shops are going to control it, and people in the shops will vape that stuff. They are not going to put harmful substances in the vape, which is going to in effect make you ill or kill you. Otherwise they'll be doing it to themselves.
But the fact that no one can be sure of the risks does appear to be having an effect. Sales are already down in this shop.
I had a call last week from a customer, and he said to me, "Glenn, I've not been in. My wife said I can't vape anymore." And I said, "Oh, well, why?" And he said, "Well, obviously all the things going on in the news, and she doesn't want me to die." And he was holding a cigarette.
If you've successfully quit smoking by using an e-cigarette, well done, that's fantastic for your health. If you want to now stop using an e-cigarette, that's fine, but please don't go back to smoking.
As it said in the news report, we are referencing really cannabis oil or a cannabis vape. So we're not saying the average Joe person who goes into a vape shop just to buy his juice. We're talking about people that wants the CBT, and over in America, still controlled. You know, CBT in America is still controlled. But the problem is, and what people are not saying, is that these deaths are now related to people not going to the shops anymore, but simply buying it off the street. How do we know this? Well, just look at, I mean, we've got people like Dr. Freedom who just does Doctor Who news, who covered it, and he knows for a fact, as it's coming up, is that people are buying this stuff off the street.
But the problem with America is people don't realize banning something does not work. But, you know, like, here's the ironic part. They're trying to get vapes banned right in this country because so far 7 people have allegedly died. Well, 7 people have died. But the thing is, they keep leaving out of the story was all 7 were using Juul vapors with bootlegged loads that were made on the street. They were not bought at a store. They were not bought through a registered thing. They were bought on the street. But the most ironic thing about it is 7 people have died. And I'm like, yet cigarettes are still out there on the counter. And they kill how many people an hour in this country every day? Yet breathing in fog machine vapor is going to kill you and it must be banned. Yeah, even my doctor, my GP, he said, yeah, because, you know, he said, damn, I'm glad you're doing this because it really helped me quit smoking.
If you've successfully quit smoking by using an e-cigarette, well done, that's fantastic for your health. If you want to now stop using an e-cigarette, that's fine, but please don't go back to smoking.
So basically, just to conclude, and it's just a quick video, if you're vaping, don't stop and go back to cigarettes. You know, even if it was 20 deaths a year, and we're talking about 20 deaths in the newspaper now since vaping started, which is what, 10 years? So I'd rather be one of the people that dies from vaping, which gives you 20 people in effect in 10 years, rather than, you know, one of the 1,315 people per day. You know, if people want to ban vaping in America and ban vaping in the UK, brilliant, let's take away cigarettes altogether and ban those. Yeah, there'll still be a black market, but everybody will be far healthier. But no, we can't do that because governments rely on tax from the cigarettes.
Philip Morris did some investigation into it, but I think it's the other ones like Winston-Salem and all that are lobbying to get rid of vapes because people are using them to quit smoking. And also Big Pharma, because people are not buying, they're not buying the gum, they're not buying the patches. They're using these to quit smoking, and it's working. It takes care of the fixation. Plus, with this, I can adjust my nicotine level. I love how we illegalize certain things here, and it's cool, and yet we have things that are legal that'll kill you even quicker.
So, and I think as a closing note, remember what vaping is. People smoke, and you go to vaping on a Nicorette level. No CBT or anything like that, just a Nicorette level. And you gradually bring that over time with a view of completely stopping smoking. Now, I know a lot of people, and this is where the question mark is now, a lot of people will continue vaping constantly. I do it myself. I've been vaping for years.
There's indisputable evidence that smoking tobacco kills, and until there's more research into the long-term effects of inhaling vapour, questions will always remain over its safety. Emily Morgan, News at 10.
And I shouldn't have been. What I should have been was say it's in a 6, then it's in a 3, then it's in a 1, then going to 0, and then stopping. That's what it's designed for. It's not designed for an alternative cigarette where people just vape, and that's where the question is, when you're vaping for a long time, does that over time harm the body? We don't know. All the research which I know about has been done trying to give up smoking harm you, and the answer to that is it's 95.
The government claims vaping is 95% less harmful than smoking, though, and heavily regulated here in the UK. Getting anyone to switch to e-cigarettes will, they insist, save many lives.
But the American experience has put pressure on medical bodies in this country to justify their faith in vaping, while the long-term effects are still unclear.
I've seen a report somewhere where it says it's 97% safer than smoking. The news report just said 95. Either way, use it to get off and quit, not as a crutch, not as an alternative cigarette. That way we can all be safe. Okay, so thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care.